Hello everyone, this is Taylor with Royal Gorge Anglers in Canyon City, Colorado, the Arkansas River's only Orvis Endorsed Outfitter and oldest fly shop on the Arkansas. Thanks so much for viewing. It's a pleasure to be back with you for a video report on June the 29th today, being a Monday. I wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on. Finally, we do have fishability back on the Arkansas. Here over the last 2 or 3 days, we've seen dramatic drops in flows and edges are clearing. Again, edges are clearing, and that's one of our favorite time periods of the year. And based on what we're reading on upstream gauges, on tributaries to the Arkansas, as well as the freestone itself at the top, things are steadily making their way down. We don't see any bump in flows at all over the last 10 days. And so what we believe is that true major runoff is over after one of the larger runoffs we've seen in the last 20 years because of that late wet spring that we experienced all over the state. Still we're looking at around 2,600 CFS at Wellsville today. However, we believe, based on what we're hearing from Bureau of Reclamation as well as our state park officials upstream, that we will continue to see contributing tailwaters diminish release, and we expect obviously the freestone portion and freestone tributaries to continue to fall throughout the week. So we expect possibly by midweek or this weekend to see 2,000 CFS at Wellsville, which is a great flow that we love to fish through the month of July many years. At this current point in time, though, like I said, Upper Bighorn Sheep Canyon through Browns Canyon, we have fishable edges, which is, basically we need about, 6 inches to a foot of clarity on the edges. Let me reiterate that because of runoff, fish have been pushed to the edges, the area of least resistance, and, darn, at this point in time, fish are very hungry. They've been dealing with big water for, right at a month, and they're ready to feed big time. So fish will be on the feed. Now is the time to prepare for a trip to the Arkansas in the next week. And, the first 3 weeks of July are just going to be off the chart. Fish will want to gain calories quickly. We have seen a few stoneflies kicking around, not many as of yet. We just feel that due to the flows, we probably haven't seen the majority of the stoneflies come off yet on the Arkansas. We are seeing a few yellow sallies down on the lower end, bunch of caddis, not any PMDs yet, but like I said, water temperature, as it rises, we will begin to see PMDs possibly this week, maybe next. So you're focusing on big stoneflies, even salmon flies that we have seen some of up and down the river in the last 2 to 3 weeks. But like I said, that should increase. Golden stoneflies will only increase in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Yellow sallies will become a major presence on the river as well. The next 2 to 3 weeks should be just amazing fishing the edges. Again, float trips, we probably won't operate as many float trips in the first 2-3 weeks of July. We will, of course, operate, but we like to focus on fishing the edges from the bank, walking the bank, wet wading, minimal wading. Don't try to get out in the current at all or anything like that, but because the fish are all against the bank, and we're talking the first 2 or 3 feet is what you want to focus on. Let's look at a couple patterns. Of course, we've talked a lot about stoneflies, so let me show you some of our pattern representations that we love to fish. And that's from today through the month of July. We like to fish stoneflies Like I said, as stoneflies really kick up hatch-wise, you're going to see a lot of these bugs out on the water. Number one fly on this river, in my opinion, is the double Dutch bug. We fish it in a size, typically a size 6 through 12. This is a tan representation. We really like the gold body as well, and the peacock body. Chubby Chernobyl, one of our favorite flies. It's easy to see. It holds a dropper well. Minimal floatant required. Size 4 through size 12. Tan body, gold body. We even fish a lot of purple bodies here. Great fly. The winged Chernobyl, which is real similar to the chubby Chernobyl, but a specific golden stone representation. Kind of that tannish gold body, tan poly wing. Great fly, size 6 through 12. One of my particular favorite big dries, the foamulator stonefly. Really easy to see, floats extremely well, super buggy from the bottom. Great profile. Those are all of our big dries there. Some in the more medium to large category that we love to fish. Number one, the pool toy. It's kind of a jack of all trades. A tractor dry fly, covers a lot of bases. And of course, the Amy's Ant. Amy's Ant's been huge on the Arkansas River for a long time. We like the gold body, like the smaller one in the 16 and the number 10 like I'm showing you here. Let's talk about yellow sallies, which will be here in a big way, for the rest of the month and even through the month of August sometimes. The chubby sally is one of my go-to flies. I love the chubby Chernobyl pattern, and this is just a small representation, size 16, foam, that bright yellow. All of your yellow sallies need to be that yellow to chartreuse color. Clown shoe sally, more of a hatch matching representation, but in a little bit bigger water, easy to see with that big post. Love to throw a dropper off of these big dries as well, fishing the edges. Sometimes it's not necessary, sometimes they're going to be all over the dry. Again, one of the tactics that our guides use a lot is to really make the fly well known when it hits the water, so really, make sure that you even slap the water a little bit to get fish's attention. Golden stones are fairly clumsy when they hit the water, so we kind of do the same. There are plenty of hoppers out there as well that are very clumsy when they hit the water. They make a lot of movement, so don't be afraid to skate the fly or move the fly at all when you're fishing the edges, especially if you're fishing downstream. Most of the time our guides like to work up a section, but if you've got a picky fish, you might want to move downstream on them. Typically this time of year fish are not picky. Like I said, they're ready to gain calories, they're going to eat voraciously, and that's why we fish these big dries. Sometimes, like I said, the dropper is nice. You will take fish on a dropper right now under one of these dries. Most of my droppers are going to be from the size 12 to the size 16 range, fairly large. And again, they're going to be in the yellow sally category. You can fish a golden stonefly nymph if it's not too heavy under one of these dries, or a PMD nymph. We'll begin to see a lot of, a huge occurrence of PMD nymphs in the water column, so we start to fish those now. One of our number one flies, Guide's Choice Hares here, fishes well in this size 12 through a size 16. Good PMD in the smaller size, good yellow sally in the larger size. Larry Kingry's PMD nymph is one of my favorites. It's got the oversized tungsten bead on it, great profile, and again, that yellow color, going to be a standby. Mike Mercer's Poxy Back PMD, size 16 or 14, great pattern for this time period. And then one of my go-to patterns, Ken Morish's Iron Sally, size 12 through size 16. Those are all droppers to run off those bigger drives. Like I said, we're still a little bit of time from PMDs. There's plenty of caddis out there. There are yellow sallies. The yellow sallies will become prolific this month. But you know, if it's my choice, I'm out there with a big dry fly, possibly a dropper, or a streamer. Moving on to streamers. Definitely want to fish a tandem rig at this point in time against the banks. You want a lead attractor streamer to get their attention. Then tie off the bend of the hook on the lead attractor a small section of 2x or 3x fluorocarbon to, you know, in small being 8 to 12 inches drop to a smaller, less obtrusive streamer. That tandem rig is going to be key. You're going to catch a lot more fish that way. The attractor streamer gets the fish's attention, moves the fish. The smaller streamer, you know, they're on the front fly and they, you know, almost automatically take that lower fly. Sometimes you will see fish crash off the shoreline and take that larger streamer up front. As far as trailer streamers go, I like olive, I like natural, and I like black. Here's a couple patterns that I like. Bars Bowface, size 8, great fly, the rabbit moves well, it's easy to see for fish, but it is small enough profile. My go-to pattern, Bar Slump Buster. Caught more fish on this pattern than any other on this river. Tan, black, olive, size 8, size 10. Those will be dropped again, 8 to 10 inches of 2x, 3x fluorocarbon beneath that front fly. Front fly, one of my go-tos right now, which is a really cool newer pattern. But I love black and I love rubber legs. Right now, the Deuce Wiggalo, just a really cool name, but a fantastic fly. Kind of intruder style, red, you know, dumbbell eyes, nice and heavy. He's got that stinger hook. The rubber legs works well on its own, but like I said, I always like to throw an attractor below it. And these are all big. You know, the Deuce Wiggalo, that guy, you know, is running about 2.5 inches. And then you've got, you know, a little bit flashier representation. Here's a little bit flashier representation, 3-inch long, you know, streamer and the Cadillac flash representation, kind of sculpin-y looking, but pushes water, makes, you know, it's well known when it's in their zone. So that's another good lead fly. Toning it down a little bit, the Space Invader, olive and black, another really good lead fly. And the Space Invader in tan and yellow, one of my favorite color combinations. Okay, those are size 6s there. So you've got streamer tandem rigs, you've got dry dropper, you've got big single dries, and you have hatch matcher dries on yellow sallies, caddis, and soon PMDs. We will, of course, keep you up to date on what's going on with hatches and flows. Keep a look on, watch out on our daily reports, our text reports. We'll update video reports if things change dramatically. But again, things are back on track on the Arkansas. Get over here and fish. You know, we can't tell people enough how good that fishing the edges are. You know, as water recedes, and we've seen, you know, our peak runoff flow is near 6,000 CFS on this river, higher on the lower river, and so we have literally cut that in half at this point in time. Dramatic drop in flows, edges are clearing, fish are on the feed. Get here and fish in the next 2 to 3 weeks. You will not be disappointed in what happens. It's going to be very, very productive, and you get to fish a lot of fun flies, you know, big dries, droppers, streamers, etc. I would not count this week out either. You know, we've got good clarity. Our guides are upstream today. We're seeing, fishable clarity and good edge clarity, and that edge clarity is 6 inches to a foot max. You don't need a lot. You just need enough for fish to see the fly. And we're seeing that in Upper Bighorn Sheep Canyon, so a short drive from the shop here, as well as, through Browns Canyon, fishing, just walking the edges, kind of rock hopping, etc. Don't deal with wading it. It's not, safe at 2,600 to be in the middle of the river, obviously, but there's no need for that, of course. And like I said, we expect, based on what's happening upstream and flow, releases, reported releases upstream, that we could potentially see 2,000 CFS, which is a very average flow during July, typically on this river anyways. So snowpack is diminished almost completely. We've still got some snow up there that will be good for us through the summer and into the fall, as far as keeping flows manageable and water cool for trout. But at this point in time, we're fishing, man, and it's good to have the river back. A couple weeks late, but we'll take it, and we hope to see you very soon. If you do have any questions, call us toll free, 1-800-994-6743. Our other toll free, 1-888-994-6743. You can also reach us via email, info@royalgorgeanglers.com, and book a guided trip. Best way to learn this fishing style and fishing the edges and big dry streamers is to go out with one of our very professional and experienced guides. So give us a call, and we hope to see you in the fly shop very soon, and have a very safe 4th of July weekend.